A critical examination of Nigeria's criminal justice system, Dele Farotimi's bold exposé. Dele Farotimi's Nigeria and its criminal justice system is a profound and uncompromising critique of Nigeria's judicial architecture, exposing the systemic rot and manipulation within the country's legal framework. Farotimi, a renowned human rights lawyer and political activist, brings his extensive legal expertise and personal experiences to this compelling work, making it an essential read for anyone interested in justice, governance, and the future of Nigeria. Systemic corruption and inequality. Dele Farotimi highlights the deeply entrenched corruption in Nigeria's criminal justice system, arguing that it functions primarily to serve the powerful elite. He exposes how the judiciary, police, and correctional institutions often operate as tools of oppression rather than justice, perpetuating inequality and shielding influential individuals from accountability. Judicial manipulation by the elite. The book presents case studies and anecdotes that illustrate how the wealthy and politically connected manipulate the system to escape prosecution. Farotimi critiques the influence of money and power, which he contends have eroded the rule of law, turning justice into a commodity rather than a right. The plight of the common man, Dele Farotimi juxtaposes the treatment of Nigeria's underprivileged citizens with that of the elite, painting a harrowing picture of the criminal justice system's selective application. He delves into how poverty and lack of access to competent legal representation disproportionately affect the less privileged, trapping them in a cycle of injustice. Nigeria and its criminal justice system, 2024. This publication critiques the manipulation of Nigeria's judicial system by powerful individuals, highlighting systemic corruption and calling for urgent reforms. Call for revolutionary reforms. While diagnosing the system's flaws, Dele Farotimi does not shy away from proposing radical solutions. He argues for sweeping reforms, including the depoliticization of the judiciary, greater accountability mechanisms, and a societal shift toward prioritizing justice over impunity. Below are key takeaways from his book. 1. Authenticity and depth. Dele Farotimi's insider perspective as a practicing lawyer lends authenticity to his arguments. The depth of his analysis is enriched by real-life examples, which make the issues relatable and urgent. 2. Clarity and accessibility. Despite dealing with complex legal and political issues, Farotimi's writing remains clear and accessible. He uses straightforward language and vivid storytelling to engage readers from diverse backgrounds. 3. Timeliness and relevance. Published in 2024, the book arrived at a critical moment in Nigeria's history, coinciding with growing public discontent over judicial inefficiencies and corruption. Dele Farotimi's arrest shortly after its release only amplified its relevance and underscored the risks faced by those challenging the status quo. Call to action. Dele Farotimi's passionate call for citizens to demand justice and accountability resonates throughout the book. His advocacy for grassroots mobilization and civic engagement inspires readers to view themselves as agents of change. Radical tone. While Dele Farotimi's revolutionary stance is compelling, some readers may find his proposals overly radical or idealistic. The feasibility of his solutions, particularly in the context of Nigeria's entrenched political and economic interests, remains a point of contention. Focus on negative aspects. The book predominantly critiques the system's failures, with limited discussion of positive developments or individuals working within the system to effect change. A more balanced approach might have offered a fuller picture. Potential bias. Given Dele Farotimi's active role as a political activist, some critics might question the objectivity of his analysis, viewing it as influenced by his personal and political agenda. Nigeria and its criminal justice system became a bestseller shortly after its release, particularly following Farotimi's controversial arrest on defamation charges linked to the book's content. This incident drew international attention, cementing the book's status as a landmark critique of Nigeria's legal system. Critics and readers have praised the book for its courage and unflinching honesty, while detractors have labeled it as overly provocative. Regardless of one's stance, the book undeniably ignites crucial conversations about justice and governance in Nigeria. Dele Farotimi's Nigeria and its criminal justice system is a bold and necessary expose of the failings of Nigeria's judicial system. It challenges readers to confront uncomfortable truths and consider their role in demanding systemic change. While not without its limitations, the book's insights and Farotimi's impassioned advocacy make it a must-read for anyone invested in justice, equity, and Nigeria's future. Freedom of speech is indeed a cornerstone of democracy and a powerful tool for ensuring accountability and transparency in leadership and institutions. It enables citizens to express their opinions, criticize policies, and demand justice without fear of retaliation. Dele Farotimi's Nigeria and its criminal justice system exemplifies the role of free speech in shining a light on systemic injustices and galvanizing public discourse around critical issues. Why freedom of speech matters in a democracy. Ensures accountability. Freedom of speech empowers citizens to question leaders and institutions, exposing corruption and inefficiencies. Public criticism acts as a check against the misuse of power. Promotes transparency. An open exchange of ideas fosters transparency, making it harder for unethical practices to thrive in secrecy. Encourages civic participation. A culture of free speech enables citizens to participate actively in governance, creating an informed and engaged populace. Supports reform and innovation. Open dialogue facilitates the exchange of ideas necessary for societal progress and reform. Constructive criticism often leads to better policies and stronger institutions. Challenges to freedom of speech. Despite its importance, freedom of speech is under threat in many parts of the world, including Nigeria, where activists like Farotimi often face intimidation, arrest, or censorship. Such actions stifle dissent and weaken the democratic fabric of society. Call to action. As citizens and global observers, we must advocate for the protection and promotion of free speech. It is not just a right, but a responsibility to use our voices to demand justice, equity, and reform. Leaders and institutions should embrace criticism as a tool for growth rather than silencing it as a threat. The fight for free speech is the fight for democracy itself. By supporting voices like Dele Farotimi's, we uphold the principles of truth, justice, and accountability that are vital to a fair and just society. Nigeria and its criminal justice system gained significant attention, becoming a bestseller on Amazon Books shortly after Farotimi's arrest in December 2024 on charges of alleged defamation related to the book's content. For those seeking to understand the dynamics of power, corruption, and resistance in one of Africa's most populous nations, this book serves as both a wake-up call and a rallying cry. If you're interested in getting deep understanding of current social political events happening locally or globally, we invite you to explore these links to our channel and playlist for other insightful reviews. You'll find valuable takeaways that we're confident you'll enjoy and benefit from. Thank you for your time.